Ladies and gentlemen, hello. It's time to do some more daily action. I want to do some promoting of a kind individual named Nate UK, one of the wonderful subscribers of the Day 9 Daily, says that he's in the mood for some mana battles. If you would like to mana battle with him, just hang out in the chat, twitch.tv/day9tv after the show for some mana battling. Or if you're watching this on the archive, go there. There's almost always people hanging out, many of whom likely are in the mood to mana battle. Why don't we do more fun things like mana battling, like a bunch of mana badasses? Did you see that mana battles is an official game type in StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm now? Do you know who invented mana battles? Where? Oh my god, where's the airplane gonna go? Oh, you know who invented it? Yeah. Sean's not arrogant about a lot of things, but about inventing mana battles, that guy is a vain prick. Oh yeah. Let's talk a little bit about this game between Grubby and Empire's KotH. We've established a basic principle. The more aggressive he is in the opening, the less good he can be in the mid-game. When do most Terran timing attacks happen? 10 minutes from the early expand. Not only do we see it's a little late, but also there's a little bit of lackingness to Empire KotH's base. Not because he's making any mistakes, but because this is what happens when you do these aggressive openings. The theory from the Terran point of view is I will do so much damage that I don't even need a big mid-game attack because Protoss will be so crippled. From the Protoss point of view, he's going to be low on the ability to get a lot of Marine Marauder. He will be able to get drops fast because he got up his factory fast because we saw mines. Therefore, getting a whole bunch of gateways makes sense on two fronts. On one hand, we can use these gateways to easily warp in against drops back here. We do have this mothership core to assist with that a little bit, but, gateways always good with that. Also, because he is low on Marine Marauder, which not only have we seen, but we necessarily know has to be true given his opening, we're going to go ahead and attempt a big push with 7 gates and a Colossus. So it's defensive until we feel like we don't need to defend anymore, and then we can attack to exploit his lack of Marine Marauder, to exploit his lack of infantry. So great! Yeah! Loving it. Both players playing very well, but I think that this is a little bit of an unusual choice. I certainly would be the player who would want to throw down double forge. Also, completely acceptable opening. Because, obviously, staying back defensively, that's how I deal with these medevacs. And what does a double forge do? The double forge also exploits KotH's lack of infantry. So, here's the swing in, a coming in. And of course, Nexus units, 7 gateways worth of warp-ins. No chance anything's breaking in the front. No chance anything's breaking in the back. KotH showing a little bit of the skill that can be deployed thanks to that good old happy time emergency thruster, or ignite afterburner, or whatever on Earth they're calling. So if I'm in Protoss's shoes, I would like to push. I'm strongly considering gearing up to push. But upon seeing this sort of stuff going on, upon this observer seeing these sorts of movements going on, there's absolutely nothing wrong with expanding. And then we're going to see some standard play sort of push back from the start. Just as he cannot have a huge amount of Marine Marauder because he's low on barracks, he also can't be having a huge amount of bases as well. 7 gate helping to deal with all these sort of deflections that we need. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up a bit. And here we start to see the sort of beginnings of this push that Grubby is constantly teasing, thanks to having these 7 gates up. There's always that little bit of potential. We're always looking for a window to maybe do some pushing. We've held off not 1 but 2 drops now. Could easily begin thinking about pushing. It is a great time to push to. Seeing the expansion. perfectly acceptable, perfectly reasonable time to push, because he's unlikely to have a lot of units. At the same time, BCQC is being smart. He's favoring Marauders, so that way he can keep up his aggression. But I honestly would say that everything from here is kind of straightforward on the general gameplay front. Colossus staying back. I want to speed through this a little bit. I like the opening because it's a good demonstration of the sort of considerations that you'll have to make, but also the lack of any need to exaggerate our responses. Of course, Beastie Cutie being the beast, being a droppy cutie, being a harassy booty, which is not okay, gentlemen. You know, there's not too much else that I want to note about this game. I kind of want to go into another game. I think the important thing is that Grubby set himself up nicely in the opening game. I like the Colossus choice that we talked about at 8 minutes and 30 seconds, because, again, that deals with both all-in, and if we want to defend against a player, it's just an all-around versatile option. This choice on this side, these warp-ins. Yeah, I mean, nothing else is really Heart of the Swarm-esque. The rest of the game is largely Grubby's fantastic fundamentals. Fantastic, good, strong unit control. The constructing of the gravitic drive, which lets the warp prisms go faster. And the complete forgetting of these units upon them getting dropped. These are all things that help lead Grubby to victory. I'm teasing, Manuel. Cool. Yeah, so apologies if I'm going through this end a little fast. I just wanted to get to some other games. In particular, some games from Grubby where things went awry a little bit. I like the defense that we had back in the main base. I also like taking a third a little bit aggressively. Oh, actually, that's one thing that I did want to note. In this position, if he's aggressively hitting our front, aggressively dropping our back, and we opted for these extra gateways, we now have the opportunity to expand. Had we gone for double forge, we would likely need to stay put, get a Twilight Council, probably get Blink or more gateways, and then expand. But Grubby actually has the freedom to expand comparatively early. I say comparatively because 13 minutes for a Nexus is not early considering what other people take their Nexuses on. But given everything that's happened, the canceling of the Nexus, the harassment here, compared to other people in that situation, this is quite early. Yeah. So that's another great little bit. Yeah, I guess I'll times 8 until some notable moments. Everything else is just good, solid, great, crazy, good, well thought out, smart, bejugular, badass, ballin', fundamental, smartness, throwing down the force fields, getting all the upgrades, holding off everything with the cannon here, with the cannon there, and with, of course, some warping cannon at the back. At any time, Dark Shrine, welcome to Heart of the Swarm. General good control, Beastie Cutie is a beast, but when you're against Grubby, you need to be consistently a beast. Yeah. Continued dropping, continued harassment. And this is one thing that I also think is very nice to consider. We're seeing something that Grubby's doing that might not look too specific to Heart of the Swarm. Drops over here. We're seeing warp prisms drop on these backsides. We've seen that throughout because Terran is normally trying to be aggressive, and mines are best suited in coordination with an army. These mines are best suited with this huge Marine Marauder ball. An engagement here with mines to retreat over. Fantastic. That's another way of saying Terran is even more focused on being forward with their army. Therefore, warp prisms are an excellent response to all things Heart of the Swarm. I'm sure many of you have seen the... I keep wanting to call them fire bats, but they're hellbats. Hellbats, solid in the main army. They bolster the main army, not good at dealing with multiple angles of harassment. So, in fact, the two factory Heart of the Swarm units that we see used regularly, the Hellbat and the Widow Mine, excellent answer to slightly favor the Warp Prism. Alright, so that last little bit, there's nothing more to say, no reason to burble on excessively. It is my goal to do that less lately, because I think I've been doing a little bit of over-burbling. Who do I think? I mean, I have. Casting is really very similar to the experience of playing StarCraft. A lot of testing, a lot of adjusting, a lot of refinement. And of course, when things go badly in casting, they're very similar to when things go badly in the game. Grubby did a solid job winning that battle. Boom. Now, let me just quit and hope, pray that it doesn't crash. Oh, please, one time, please don't crash, please, please, please don't crash, please. Oh my god, don't crash, crossing everything. We're fine. Now I want to go into a game between, hopefully we'll get to see both of these games, between DeMuslim and Grubby. Some very interesting Heart of the Swarm-esque games. Let's go into it. I'm actually going to go to the Grubby cam, because I don't want to spoil what DeMuslim is going to do. DeMuslim is, I honestly think, one of the best mid-game Terran players, period. Players like Thorzane are excellent late-game players, focus on pushing the game longer and longer and longer and getting into those absolute mega money engagements. DeMuslim is incredible at bringing the noise. And on that note, you know, a lot of people, when I say that, they'll envision amazing micro, taking a lot of engagement opportunities. But in my eyes, it's less what goes on in the battle that I think is characteristically DeMuslim style, and more what's going on with his buildings. DeMuslim is excellent at setting up a structure, or setting up an architecture of buildings in his main base, all of which that favor mid-game aggression. And then now that Heart of the Swarm has like Hellbat drops and Widow Mines, all those fantastically favor the mid-game. So I'm really, 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 really pumped to see DeMuslim be a boss. DeMuslim, you have my confidence behind you. For any of you who have not seen this build, I'm going to say what it is, and then the considerations for Heart of the Swarm. Or, because I'm hungry, I'll call it Heart of the Shawarma. We go for this early Nexus, and then we do 17 Forge, 18 Pylon at the front. You can do 17 Pylon. The style that Oz was doing was, you know, to go for this, and then sometimes even just 17 Pylon, 18 Forge. But this is a little bit more of the canonical look. I'll say 17 Forge, and then 17, 17, 17. All of them happen in a row on 17. That's much easier to remember. I won't even worry about talking about the nuance of going on 18 supply. But again, 17, 17, 17, 17, 18. 18. Cool. What are the threats that can come at us early? 2 Raxes. This is a little bit against 2 Raxes. We'll need to pull probes, but it can be functioning a-okay, just fine dandy. Two racks before gas, 2 racks with gas. Early expands, fast pushes like we saw last time. Grubby, biggest threat is a lot of those fast pushes. That's why he's holding a key attack point for early pushes. Notice that he holds this for a while before even considering to go see what his opponent is up to. A factory could lie here. He wants to be able to spot any troops moving across. But this is a nice build. We focus on getting probes up early, and then eventually we can get a fast ground armor upgrade. A single Marine seems good to us. Grubby will continue to try to poke in. At this point, it's important that we note some read timings. Have not seen any pushes out, crossing off a lot of those early 2 racks plays with or without gas. He could be going for then either a fast tech or early expand. These are the sort of reads that we want to do. Boing! Suiciding in, we get the chance to see it. Always move up along the edges, whether it is a probe or a stalker. It's very tempting to do this with probes, to move along the edges with probes, and then not to do it with stalkers. I don't know why. I'm just talking about our feelings. I don't know why we feel this way, but we do sometimes. And I feel bad for us. So, coming on back. Killing off all the things. So immediately I'm thinking, alright, once I get my Stalker out, I'll likely want to just get a little bit more vision control of what's going on in the middle. Now that I've identified that he's early expanding, there's a couple of things that he can be doing. Fast Tech early expand, or just General Barracks early expand. General Barracks early expand won't go into that much because it's pretty ordinary. Or Fast Tech early expand. He could be going Banshees, Hellions, any number of different things. So Grubby will just chill. He's just going to get his gateways up and chill. This is the I don't know response. And that's fine. This is completely adequate, not a bad response at all. Getting a robotics facility at around 6:30 is completely fine. It's a little bit delayed because we just have so damn many probes. Still, we want to be aware that we want a robo at some point. Double gas at 6:30 is generally considered an early time, so a single gas is fine. So great. Get on in here. We scout, so cool. Mothership Core scouts, so good, so good. Again, 6:30. We would love. We think it would be great to get some key decision of our tech done by 6:30. So Grubby is just going to check out what's up. Given this, if I were in Grubby's shoes and I saw Marines, or I saw some sort of Marine-focused play, there's plenty of options to go for Twilight Council, an additional Forge, to cut the Robo out. We can easily do that. It's a little dangerous to expand. Not terribly dangerous, but it's a little dangerous if he is going for his Marine Marauderage. But, you know, the fact that we got up our early Nexus means that against a General Barracks player we'll be okay as long as we defend our expansion properly. And thanks to the Mothership Core, that helps a lot. But given that we have seen tech, we have seen mech, oh my goodness, what the heck. Generally, we're going to want to get that Robo up. This is almost always what we are going to want to do. But Grubby does not, because this is Heart of the Damn Swarm. Now, why would I say ordinarily we want to get up the Robotech? Because now we see a tech lab next to a starport early. He could be going Banshee. If he's getting a starport early, he can be doing drops. Observers deal with both of these. And also, same logic that we noted in the last game. If he's going for tech, then he is low on things that are good against the Colossus. He's low on early Marauder, Marine pressure. I'm sure he can get some Vikings up, but pure Viking with nothing else is going to suck against Colossus. So that's why, in Wings of Liberty, we generally get that stuff. But we have a Stargate. Okay, cool. The Stargate is nifty. Nifty, thrifty. Against anything that's built out of that isn't a Viking, we can just shoot it out of the sky. Medevacs, all those things. Yeah! We have the mobility to deal with harassment at multiple angles, such as with these Hellions. We have the ability to get detection up by chrono boosting out a single Oracle. We can even just say, alright, we got cannons up. We got all the detection in the world that we need. And last but not least, the Phoenix range upgrade means we have a lot more ability to control the space on the map. So this is cool. I want you also to notice a very key thing. Low on sentries, very low on sentries. Why are we low on sentries? Because we just did not really see that many Marines. In fact, there's no way for him to have a lot of Marines. He got a damn starport up super early, so we can cut all that jank. One good force field, one whiffed probe. Come on, probe, pick up the pace, man. I think a key error happens right here. Spending that Mothership Core energy when we did not necessarily need to. Defensive line still looking very strong. There was actually, is there that medevac? Yeah, a medevac drop tried to pop in the back, which Grubby just swatted aside. Because again, sentries aren't going to deal very well with a techie player. Stalkers are going to deal very, very well with a techie player. Continuing to chrono boost that out. And now we get all this goody goodness. See ya later, alligator. Got him dead. Got him down. Controlling in map control town. But this is still not quite enough. We can't just get map control and go bah, and then just, you know, think that we're awesome. We have to do something more, something excellent. Now, given that we built a Stargate, we have to make use out of the Stargate. We've already shut down drops. That's fantastic. How do we shut down concerns with stuff going on at the front? That is the other notable thing that Grubby will have to have an answer for. We can do this sort of thing to do the Harris. Like this. Oh, yes. It's looking very much so like a standard formation in there. Given that we're already getting ahead on upgrades, we're going to have to... Oh, yeah, there it is. We're going to have to build a Twilight Council, so fantastic. Freaking sweet, gnarly, ballin'. Obviously, Robo is pretty much out of the question at this point. Going for Colossus, not really going to benefit us. We are forced, due to the fact that we elected to go Stargate, to go for some Zealot, Archon, Templar type mixture. Now, in the good news department, we're going to slaughter him in the skies, because we're going to have Speed Zealots on the bottom that will be soaking up damage, and we're going to have Phoenixes on the ground. Or, excuse me, we're going to have Zealots on the ground soaking up damage, and Phoenixes in the air taking out these medevacs. It's all going to be excellent. Mothership Core, where are you? Yeah, the Mothership Core is quite low on energy. I still reference back to that inadvertent throwdown on that Nexus. Grubby's doing some excellent work there. This is the best part about Phoenixes. They're fast, and with their range, they're excellent stim bait. Yeah, stim bait. A term I hope I can popularize in the StarCraft 2 community. Stim baiting, yes. Dude, that guy is getting baited by stimming. This is, I think, the moment, like the key moment where I'm just like, I mean, I see that and I'm like, I realized the noise I was making after I had made the noise. Here's why I think the things that I think about this. Blink Stalkers are great. I think Blink Stalkers are one of the underrated units in the matchup. However, they are... they're generally used for early aggression. We're going to ignore that. They can also be used for some key defense in coordination with Colossus. Why do they work so well with the Colossus? Well, because he's going to be spending money on Vikings, and we can just sort of blink to get underneath it. But also, force fields work very, 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 very well with the Blink Stalkers. So, here's what I'm thinking. If we're getting blink now, sure, it will let our Stalkers blink up into the main base, but we don't really have a lot of sentry energy built up. Because remember, all the way back here, around 8 minutes, I was pointing out, look at this lack of sentries. Cool, we're cutting sentries in order to be able to get these Stalkers up to defend against stuff, and we're spending our gas getting Stargate and these useful upgrades. And that effect is sort of propagated all the way out here. I genuinely believe that Zealots are going to be a lot more... Zealot Charge is going to be significantly more important because we know he's not going to really be building any Vikings. We've shown him Phoenixes. He's sure we're not going Colossus. He doesn't really need that many Vikings. And I actually think that probably the best way to deal with this is to have just a few Stalkers here and to poach southwardly with a Phoenix. We can't get observers because we cut those. I really think that this is what's going to be the big issue, and hence why I went... I think that this is absolutely excellent, totally correct. We need some way to deal with the stuff. Obviously, Blink Stalkers work very, very nicely with all this stuff. Grubby, just a defensive frickin' hero. Still low on energy from that Mothership Core, so we don't have the necessary time bought to be able to get Blink. Or more importantly, had we not hit with our Mothership Core at this point in time, at the 9-minute mark, See, there it is. And here's our mothership core, low on energy. Oh my god. Oh no. 150 energy to recharge is 300 seconds, so that's like a lot of minutes. But yeah, if we had gone for Zealot Leg, we'd really need that extra energy to be able to double throw down the photon overcharge. And I like this. I think this is cool for the health of StarCraft 2 to note that, wow, mothership core timings are really important. If I get a mothership core early, there are some builds in which I'll need 2 photon overcharges for 13-minute pushes, i.e. any aggressive mid-gaming Terran. I really will need 2 photon overcharges, so I better not spend one in the opening game. And there are some builds in which I will need 1 in the opening game, and then I'll need another 1 at the back door. But my front is going to be very well defended. So here's where we encounter some problems. Hellbats at the front. Barely have enough for that mothership core. Second round defense. And you know, all we have are Blink Stalkers. I'm still kind of the opinion that, you know, with all these gateways that we have out, we're still with a surplus, and we can't even really go Zealot Archon at this point in time. The Phoenixes, you know, already gone. They were already lost in one of those micro exchange battles because we didn't have Zealots sort of tanking stuff up. And that's where I think things may have gone a little bit awry. And then with, you know, just slow normal units, and because Muslim is incredibly good, and you see that there's the Ignite Afterburners just used for micro, here's where I think things went the wrong way. Okay, cool. When we come back, we're going to watch, I wanted to watch a slightly longer game, but let's go ahead and watch a brief one. Another one where I think that there are some defensive issues that can occur, but are very heartwarming for the health of Heart of the Swarm. So yeah, I definitely think that Grubby had an excellent opening, a really slick response here. I actually am absolutely convinced that this can work and work very well. I think that this should have been taken maybe slightly earlier, but definitely the Blink Stalker decision hurting us right now. Even though Grubby has the sickening 2-2 upgrades really early, it's not enough. It's not enough, man. And the Muslim is good. The Muslim spits his army like a boss all day. Oh yes, what the hey, what the heck. Bite his neck. You're a vampire now. Day 9, what are you talking about? Well, that was a good game. But yeah, the Mothership Core opening up a lot of cool potentials. Really think it's awesome. When we come back, I want to just briefly recap some of my thoughts on that game, and then let's watch another game. Let's listen to some Blue Sky Black Death. Oh yeah. Oh, I think you're gonna love this beat.